Hi guys, welcome back to the Kit and Krysta podcast. It's time.
What?
It's the spectacular episode 10
Count 'em.
episode.
So I'm holding up all
Why
my
are you
fingers.
doing this? What is this motion?
I'm raising the roof.
Oh,
People do that, right?
You're really exposing yourself as a boomer, and that's
What?
not good.
I don't think I ever actually raised the roof. Everybody knows that, though.
Let's not talk about this. This
Everybody
is
knows
so
that.
lame. So lame.
All right, we're going in another direction. You seem very upset today, and I don't know why.
I'm not upset at all.
You were very cross with me at several points already. I just came through the door, and you're like, let's go.
What?
Jeez.
That's not true.
Now you're harassing me about the raising the roof.
That's not true. You have weird perceptions.
This is not the levity I expected in episode 10.
What do you mean? I offered you soy milk that my mother has freshly pressed. We ate some carrots that were from her garden.
I mean, she made it.
And then we came upstairs and we got set up, and we were just getting ready. I don't know what the problem is.
Well, we're going to see how this
what do you
episode
expect from
plays
me?
out. A friendly
Maybe
wave and a smile.
Turn it around on you.
Greetings.
Your expectations.
It's wonderful to see you. Let's go do the podcast. That's what I'm expecting.
Greetings. But it is very exciting that we are in episode 10 already.
Goodness.
Can you believe
it?
Actually, I can't believe it because we are very used to the consistency of producing a show.
We know these numbers go up fast. So
yes, but it is a big milestone.
It's nice, yeah.
It's super nice. We also were extremely happy this weekend because we passed 40,000 subscribers on YouTube, right on the cusp of our 10th episode. So what a fantastic way to celebrate. Yeah. And it's just so nice to, grow this amazing community. And this is exactly what we wanted to do when we started this whole thing in the first place. So it's just so cool to yay, see it all come together. We're doing it, people. Let's go. It's exciting. What else is happening? Well, we were in the car, which you guys seem to love. We love it too.
Those are really fun to do. That was a super fun day. Although we didn't say, I think we hinted at it in the video. It was like 90 degrees that day.
Oh my goodness. It was, and we couldn't turn the AC on.
That's like the hidden secret is like, it's going to be loud. You're going to hear the air blowing if you have the AC on. So you have to just put the windows up.
Do you think the people that do the carpool karaoke also leave their AC
They have some Hollywood magic that we don't.
How are they doing? How can they sing with such vigor?
There's like a PA in the back with like
a fan,
a palm leaf or something. Yeah, that they're just
a
going
very quiet palm leaf.
Exactly.
Where do we get that?
Yeah. Well,
don't record on the 90 degree.
Episode 20 maybe we'll be ready. We'll hit the big time.
Get the palm leaf going. It was really, really hot, and you might have seen some sweat, so sorry for that. If that
by our last stop, Sony, I think we were both a little red in the face.
We were getting heat stroke or something. Have you ever had heat stroke? It's actually quite unpleasant.
No.
I used to get it when I would go back to China in the summertime, and that's nothing. You don't want that. So I'm glad that we were very safe and did not get.
I'm very fair of complexion, if you hadn't noticed.
Yeah, you'd burn.
Very fair.
Burnt to a crisp. But it was super fun. We used to do some of these driving vlog videos back when we were doing Nintendo Minute, and it's some of our favorite things. I think one of my favorite episodes was when we drove to E3.
That was amazing.
That was pretty cool. Yeah. So we better think about some new road trippy ideas.
Well, somebody in the Kit and Krysta Discord had a fantastic idea, which was, you were doing this, kind of in your home turf. What if you went to another city like LA?
Yeah.
And just did a loop of a couple places there. It's like, wow,
there's a lot of
totally
places in LA that we could totally go to. Yeah. That would be really fun. And if we go to LA, we can go see all of our LA friends.
That's right.
We're coming to knock on your door,
Special
Roger. Get ready.
By us.
Pow! We're coming in.
We're here. We're showing up.
We're showing up. Just
sleeping on your couch.
Inviting yourselves over. But yes, we had so much fun. If you hadn't gotten a chance to check out that video yet, please go ahead and I'll put a card somewhere here.
Good.
So you can click on it. But it is part of the Kit and Krysta show, which we all know now is different than the Kit and Krysta podcast. So, I hope you're enjoying those videos, and we're going to continue doing that this week.
This is very exciting.
It's very exciting,
actually. The Kit and Krysta show has what, 5 episodes, 4 episodes? We're very early with this.
Early.
But
early days.
We are going to be doing a part 3 of a video. we are continuing a series that we started on Nintendo Minute.
Which is our Minecraft
which is
series.
Noobs Play Minecraft. We're the noobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did episode 1 and 2 on Nintendo Minute.
Right.
And we actually left off on quite the cliffhanger. And of course, like that was towards the end of when we were about to end the show. So we were like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Can we do this again? Fortuitously,
we're back.
We get to do it on the Kit and Krysta show.
I still have that save.
Yes,
ready to go.
Don't touch
Pick up right
save.
Where we left off.
Yes, I remember we were near a cave. There was like a snowy sort of mountain area. Yes, we got to pick it up. So we're gonna. That's what we're gonna do
this is like Star Wars starting with episode 4. It's like, what about 1 through 3? It's like, no. We'll get to those
Comparing
later.
us to Star Wars is another level of arrogance.
It's an inter-channel galaxy that we're creating of content.
Galaxy.
It's a galaxy of content, and all the stars, you just reach up and grab them.
Wow.
The ideas are right there. You
what
just
a
reach up and grab them.
visualization
You've yet to learn this. Me, though, I'm on top of this.
Yeah. Too short.
Get a ladder.
You need a stool. You
Get a step
need
ladder.
a step stool to reach the stars. Dang. That's cold. It's cold. It's harsh. The harsh realities of life. And we have picked some of your wonderful questions for about Eglia.
Yeah.
And we sent it over to our developer.
So he is working on those.
Yes.
I think we will have them back in time for the next episode.
I think so.
I hope.
Yes.
They seemed very
excited.
Down to business of working on those, but you think they need a lot of translation back and forth.
Yes, we know that very well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll give them time to
hopefully,
thoughtfully,
hopefully on the next episode we will be reading those off.
Yes.
And by now the people who had the questions chosen should have been contacted, and maybe you'll be playing Eglia by now already.
Yeah. Hopefully you can you'll see that message and we can send you your code. So thank you guys so much for your thoughtful questions. When we sent it back, they were just so happy that you guys were interested and
they like the questions a lot.
Such great things to ask, and I think he's really excited to answer them. So this is such a cool opportunity for all of us, and I think it was going to be really fun to get those answers back. Cool.
One last thing before we dig in further. We are going to be special guests on MinMax Trivia Tower.
Yes.
Coming up, which is very exciting.
I'm so excited about
It's going to be on April 28th. We'll have more details soon. We'll be sharing those. But that's kind of like our community versus the MinMax community.
Don't disappoint me, guys.
Oh boy.
I joked around. I was like, this is where I start tiger momming all of you. I have a lot of experience with this. So get practicing. Go and read up on your various trivias.
Yes.
I mean, don't let us down, guys.
Hit the books, aka Wikipedia, and study up.
Get studying. Put the lo-fi beats to study on up. Get reading.
Get that 20-hour mix of Dale North,
Just listen to our theme song on repeat while you study.
It'll enhance your brain power.
Exactly. It's like, Mozart.
I'm getting smart.
Stimulate the brain cells.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's going to be really fun. So we'll definitely share more details coming up. But we hope you're excited to represent the Kit and Krysta community.
That's right.
That's right. All right.
Do you have any zingers for today? You had your zingers in the car. You like to just dash these things off on a piece of paper.
Gotta write down the genius.
But you leave them around. They're like strewn around. Like, is there under Rob? Is there like some zingers?
Don't touch Rob. Don't touch him. He doesn't like that.
That's because you've got the zingers. It's where you keep the zingers. Your secret stash. You said it wrong. You need to practice. You need to practice the zingers.
I need to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like look at myself.
Look
in
at
the
yourself
eye.
in the mirror.
Yes. Speech preparation.
Maybe they're going to be zingers today. I don't
in
know.
your
I should hope
pocket?
so.
What's going
I don't have the zingers either. Jeez.
Comic Sans.
ABF.
Though.
Yeah.
Always Comic Sans.
Make for the comedy.
Well, this episode I wrote down the title, which is very bad, but I think it's kind of funny. Woohoo for episode 10. Also woohoo for Wuhu Island. Because in light of Switch Sports coming out, we're going to be talking about Wii Sports Resort.
Oh.
Which is a fun, interesting, weird launch.
Yeah.
And lead up to launch that I worked on. And you were not there yet.
Excuse you.
You were there yet?
I was there.
You were there.
Great memory. Thanks for caring.
Were you there? Were you not there? Were you there?
No, so this game came out in 2009.
Yes.
I started January 2009.
Aha.
But this game was announced like the year before. It had kind of a long run up, so I kind of came through midway. I was not super involved in this launch. So like last week, I was telling my Konami story. This is going to be on you.
The spotlight is on me. Actually, I don't really remember that much from this. I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm just kidding. It's been a long time. 2008, 2009 was a long time ago. But we will be talking about this launch in story time. So let's
But isn't that now?
get into it now.
What do you mean we will be? We are. Let's go.
We are. Oh, okay.
We shall be.
By we and
The royal we?
By we and by we will be. I mean right now.
Okay.
Like us. Okay.
Well, take it away.
So I guess we can rewind a little bit to before you joined Nintendo, which was back in E3 of 2008.
Yeah.
Which is when this game was announced. And at that time, we were still doing like the big Nintendo press conferences, like the whole stage things. I think if you look up videos right now, there's definitely like videos of Reggie on stage.
Ravi Drums.
Ravi Drums was not. Was that this year? Was that year?
I don't know what year it was, but he was definitely in one of these
stage
productions.
Things.
Yeah.
These stage things were always like a little bit shaky, honestly. Like I feel like every single year we do one of these, there's some like awful thing that happens, that something doesn't work, or we have like Ravi Drums, which is just weird and strange, or like there's some element of like just it's not quite what you expected it to be.
It's kind of the nature of a live production, though.
Exactly.
There's that risk.
There is
you don't know what's
risk.
going to happen.
Yeah, and then like, Mr. Miyamoto's Wii remote stops working, like that kind of stuff, and this was kind of not that. This moment of this announcement was not quite that, but it also was like one of those things where you're like, ooh, yeah, that's not what I expected, and that's definitely not what I expected the reaction.
You're talking about 2008 now, right?
I'm talking about specifically the 2008 E3 stage
I do remember
presentation.
I was working at Bandai Namco at the time, and I remember before that event, early in the morning, Nintendo set out like a press release saying we're announcing the Motion Plus.
That's right.
And I was like, oh, why are they doing this now? That's interesting.
Yeah, what we used to call it, like the cadence or whatever,
was
strange.
The steady drum beat.
The steady drum beat. The drum beats were off a little bit. Well, maybe they thought it was on, but it did feel like, why are you scooping yourself by doing this a beat earlier? But I think main reason is that like it's a little bit confusing what the thing was, and I think at the time there was like discussion of like let's give the people some extra time to like digest the information, because it's like this funny little block that you like stick onto the bottom of your Wii remote, and it had that weird like silicone thing on it, and made the thing like super bulky. I mean, it worked. It did enhance the motion and everything, but it was just like a very strange, and definitely felt very like, like tacked on. Like it wasn't integrated very seamlessly into the original Wii remote. I was
a teeny bit disappointed because I was like, oh gosh, we're only like a couple years into the Wii, and now they're already having to like revise what it is. But in the end, I think it was the right thing to do, because it was so much better.
Definitely,
and there were just so many games that wouldn't have been possible.
Function without it. Yeah, but it definitely didn't. It wasn't like as elegant of a solution, I think, as you think a company like Nintendo would be doing. It definitely felt a little bit like it's a little ghetto to just like tack this thing on.
I think later on, just the base Wii remote had it built in. I remember,
but in the beginning,
there were a couple years where you needed the
attachment.
The attachment,
and Wii Sports Resort actually had it packed in with the game.
Right.
That was like the whole premise of it, is like we would showcase Wii Motion Plus with the new functionality of Wii Sports Resort. So that was like the big like moment of that stage show.
Yeah.
And at the time, the head of sales and marketing at Nintendo was Cami.
Yeah.
Who, she's amazing. Like she was really just sweet and smart, and I really liked her a lot, but I could tell she was having kind of a hard time like connecting with the audience and connecting not just the audience at like live at E3, but just like the fans overall had a hard time. Like she had a hard time like legitimizing herself, I think, and it wasn't really her fault, really. She just didn't have like that rich gaming background.
Yeah.
She had a really strong marketing background. She certainly was very well equipped to do the job.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
But it's just tough. The industry is so small. And back in the day, it was even more just like closed off. And I think for her, it was just really tough to break in.
Well, there was some friction, I think, too, of, with the Wii, there were more kind of casual games being introduced, and I think she was often tapped to helm those or like be the face of those of like, hey moms or hey families, check this out.
And that's truly like who she was, though.
Yeah.
Like she was that person. So she was representing authentically herself, but it kind of like, I think, turned off the core.
Yeah, I think she became like the person of like, oh, that's the person who's doing all of this. And where's my, I want my hardcore Zelda.
Yeah, I want my speedrunner, like, like so the beautiful.
Now I'm grumpy.
Yeah. So there was this sort of dichotomy, and of course we had Reggie at the time, who was like that, like very like presence too. So there was always like sort of that kind of balance that she struggled with, I think. So I felt for her, and she was sort of trotted up on stage at this big E3 show where it was definitely full of super core fans.
Yeah, that's who it goes.
And like, and it's like, man, we're just feeding this poor woman to the wolves kind of situation. Like, it's so unfair, But it was like a super cringy moment. So she was tasked to do the Wii Sports Resort demo and show off the Wii Motion Plus for the first time in this like big stage. The game that was chosen for her was that Frisbee game.
Where you throw it to the dog.
Where you throw it to the little dog.
It's a fun game.
Very fun. The dog was so cute. And she was doing fine, but she just had this like very, she was being herself, but I think it just wasn't the right audience for it. And so she was like talking to the dog, and you guys can go back and watch the video, but it's like, you could tell like that just the crowd was not into it. Yeah. She was like it's like when you're like doing a comedy act and you're like definitely losing the audience, like the crickets kind of situation. You're like, stop. No more.
There's definitely a lot of like bad E3 moments where it's like, oh, these immersive games, and you're really like playing it up, like the Connectimals, like, oh, you're so fluffy and cute. Oh, or like, oh, now I'm talking to this dog that's not real.
Or even like the Pokemon stuff where you're like petting it and like flicking the fruit at it.
Yeah, it's like nobody does that when they're actually playing.
Speak for yourself.
They're kind of like overdoing it to try and
you're on stage,
make
and you're
an impact.
Trying to make it. It's like a moment, that it doesn't ever come to fruition because you just look kind of dorky on stage. Right. So that's what happened.
Now you were at this E3.
I was in backstage, and I was like, oh no, this isn't going well at all.
You had your big headset on. You're telling people, hit the lights.
Like, drop the curtain. She gets like that big hook.
Yeah.
And like, start playing like the Oscars get off the stage music. No, I wish we did that. That'd be funny. But yeah, it was just super awkward, and it really didn't give the game or the Wii Motion Plus really like the impact I think we needed at that time. It just didn't show it off very well.
Yeah.
So it was kind of unfortunate. So we kind of went into that E3 like a little bit and came out of it a little bit like wah wah. Like, we had this confusing press release that went out to announce the Motion Plus, and then the stage demo was kind of like a blasé moment that people made fun of, and poor Cammie got like made fun of, and I was like, oh, I felt so bad for her. So it wasn't great.
It was, another year before that game came out too.
Yeah.
And these days I feel like Nintendo's better at very tight turnaround between the announcement and launch, and even like Switch Sports is kind of that way.
Right.
Remember after that E3 moment, there wasn't a lot more on Wii Sports Resort for a long time.
For a long time. And the game, I looked it up too, the launch event was in June of the following year.
Right.
So it truly was like a full year before like we did anything else, which was kind of strange. So yeah, like kind of a mediocre moment at E3, a long silence. And then we started working on the launch for the actual game the following year. So you had started at Nintendo in January.
I had.
We were starting to work on the game probably around like the February timeframe, so like a month.
And that was I was like, oh, this game's coming out? Like, we haven't heard anything about this. And it's like, well, it's coming out in 3 months? Like, what are we doing? Let's get going.
Yeah. So I was working on the game. I was already on the PR team. You joined the PR team like a year after me. Or whatever, a year and a half after me. And so we were already working kind of like in the planning phases. And because of that like sort of yucky E3 moment and the silence that followed, like it was pretty important that we do like something big to make a big spectacle, to like give the game like another like burst of like energy. So the grand idea was to do like a traditional, big PR stunt in the middle of New York City, which is what Nintendo loves to do. It's fun. I mean, it definitely makes an impact,
especially
and it works.
In that era of the company too.
Yeah, that was like our favorite thing to do.
There was always the request, like, we need a purple cow moment.
Oh, they always said purple cow or NBDB. Before NBDB,
never been done before.
NBDB,
right.
Yeah, so it's like we need some sort of like spectacle moment that will get people talking about this game. That was always the assignment.
And those were always just like rack your brain moments, because you come up with a list of like, here's all these ideas. Like no,
and some of them are really bad ideas.
Too expensive, too weird, too out there, not feasible. Yeah, and it's like, well, what can we actually do? What do you want, people?
But back in the day, back in 2009 at that time, Nintendo, I think, was a little bit more like willing again to do these kinds of things. We were like a little bit more. I feel like Nintendo's more conservative now on
Open
PR
the pocketbook.
Get that wham ready. The walking around monies. Get that going. So that was the idea that like somehow got passed. And again, it was weird that the PR team was doing this, not the events team. Like we were somehow like in charge of doing all of this stuff, which is strange.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, it's like we have no expertise in
this
line of work. We certainly partnered with our events team, but it was one of those things where like we're only doing this big event to get the media coverage, to get the like the social conversation or whatever, or else we wouldn't ever do something like this. We wouldn't spend the money. So
remind me, what was the whole, summarize like the top 5 things of this event? Like what was it?
So we were going to be on Military Island, which is in the middle of New York City.
Times Square?
Times Square.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Big
if you
time.
guys know kind of where that is, it's like the little, kind of like a little triangle in the middle of Times Square. Yeah. You get all the beautiful billboards around you and stuff. They were going to ship in, I think, like 100,000 tons of sand.
That's a lot of sand.
It was a lot of sand. They were going to make Military Island, transform it into Wuhu Island.
Oh.
Which is cool concept. Yeah. So basically, we make like this beautiful beachscape on Military Island. We'd have different stations where you could demo the game. We would have it'd be obviously a really cool spectacle for filming, for videos. We would have we worked with the advertising team, so the billboards would be all sports Wii Sports Resort related. Right. They were going to play trailers, and we would have like images up, so you would like look around Times Square and you'd be surrounded by Wii Sports Resort stuff, which is really cool. And then the other part of it was we would like have some sort of transportation from Wuhu Island to the New York store,
right?
Because people will be lining up obviously for the midnight launch. Mm-hmm. So this was in June. And the other thing that was really cool when we started doing this was like they wanted to do this time lapse of the island being built. So they had like, back in the day we didn't have like drones or anything like that. It was like very rudimentary like compared to what it is now. But they had set up like crazy cameras and stuff at like in buildings, so to get that like that bird's eye view of Military Island, and then. You could see them like literally just dumping sand for like hours and hours and hours upon hours, days before the event, to make it into this island resort. I'm
surprised that idea got approved, because with this, you have to go through like the city and get all these permits. Oh my God, the
permitting
and they're usually
a nightmare.
They're very like strict, and they ask a lot of questions.
I think it was expensive.
I'm like, I can't believe. I mean, that just seems like you're making a huge mess.
I know.
Waiting to happen.
Of Times Square too. But I think the thing that was actually not terrible was that like the sand was a natural material. So it's not.
You mean sand?
Yeah, sand.
Yes.
It's everywhere.
Sand is natural.
That's what I'm saying. Like they weren't like as strict, because if you say you wanted to say like I want to release 100,000 Mylar balloons, like that's going to pollute the city.
That's
and
happened
too. That's happened.
That's gone bad.
That was not a good idea.
Oh, but so they didn't care about sand?
At least it was like, if you left some sand around, like, it's okay. It'll like naturally take care of itself.
Oh boy.
Not like 100 tons of sand, but like if you had like a couple grains left over, like no big deal.
Okay, okay.
But I think that was how we sold it into the city, basically. Yeah. It's like, it's fine. It's just sand. It's not like something that is like trash or whatever. So, great idea. Obviously a spectacle. We did get a lot of media coverage, but we were really unlucky with this whole thing because the day of the event, it rained. Oh. And we struggled for like a long stretch. You struggled with this. I think we all did.
No, everybody said I was like cursed. Yeah, because I always do these events and it would just be pouring rain. And,
I mean, you had a really bad, we'll talk about that event another time, but like that was always like the danger. Like, what is the rain plan?
Yeah.
There's always a rain plan. But this time it was pretty hard to have a rain plan because literally it was just like sand on the knob.
Sometimes the rain plan is better than others. Sometimes it's like, we'll get some umbrellas. Yeah.
If you see the visuals from this event, we'll put visuals here as well. I found some old videos. But like, it looks like damp. Like, it does not look like a beautiful, sunny, warm island resort. It was like... Those rainstorms in New York are no joke. It's not like California where it like drizzles or whatever. It's like legit downpour.
It's like a summer thunderstorm thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what happened. And it wasn't warm, it wasn't sunny. Oh. So it totally sort of lost the... And people were wearing like, in photos, you can see people wearing ponchos playing the games. So it's kind of sad, this poor game. But I mean, the event was really cool. The idea was amazing. I think we still got like tons of media coverage from it.
Yeah.
But it was a struggle, like from the E3 moment that was just like meh to the launch event, which we did have a great idea for, but then got rained out. It was like, oh my gosh, is this game like destined to fail? Or clearly it was fine. Maybe
the game did very well.
Maybe we didn't need to do any of this, which is the lesson here.
Maybe the game sold itself.
Maybe the game actually, maybe this is a proof that games that are good just sell themselves and marketing, just go back to bed. I don't know.
This, another wrinkle is like with this event being in June, that means there's like some overlap of like working on E3, which is everybody's involved.
It was tiring,
really big time, and also doing this in parallel. We always seem to have a big game that would come out.
Dragon Quest IX was the other one that we need to talk about.
That was, I think, the next year.
That one killed us.
And it's like, what? Who keeps choosing when these games are coming out?
Someone that doesn't care about the schedule.
Look, and it'd be like, can we get a break? Like,
no, you cannot.
It's like, no, this is the biggest game of the year. You need to knock it out of the park.
Yeah, you have to do like a crazy event, which we did for the next year. Oh my gosh, yeah, it was very. I guess I'm
just gonna go to the gas station and get some trucker pills so I can work on these two giant things. Like, it's like, what am I gonna do?
You're never sleeping again.
Right.
Just put in that catheter and get to work.
I was really glad that I was not working on this, honestly, because at that point, I was still figuring out how things worked.
You had your own event like the month before, Punch Out in May. I remember that.
I mean, that was nothing compared to this. But I was like, I don't know, within the way this company works, how to do something like this. And everybody was really like stressed out about it.
We were really stressed out. And it was things were just going wrong.
Which is to beat the biggest thing ever. I know. Like the pressure was ratcheted up. And I was like, I'm just glad to just watch this from afar.
Yeah, this is where you could play the new person card and be like, I'm new. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's good career advice. Always play the new person card.
Yeah.
You can do that for a year.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned this before. I was always weirded out at like how reliant we were on these sorts of events.
Yeah. This is where it became like really real that like we were doing things outside of the scope of traditional PR.
Because
okay.
I came from smaller companies, but it's like, the goal is to get the coverage. It's like not to throw this like giganto event with... Yeah. And it's like, yes, ultimately you want to get the coverage, but it's like...
Is this the only way? Like, there's another way.
Yeah, and it's like, these are crazy big investments. Again, just like you're working on it for months, nonstop.
And we were operating under this model for years.
Yeah.
Until like very recently, and then we had like sort of our XM team like fully take it over. Yeah. But this was like expected of the PR team for years.
And it's like, is there not a more efficient way to get coverage?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people... just want to know about this thing.
Or want to play it.
Or they don't need this crazy spectacle.
Yeah.
I mean, again, when you talk about like trying to reach these expanded audiences, you do have to try hard and you have to spend big money to reach them.
Yeah.
So it's like, I've always thought like, work from the inside out. It's like, all right, we got the hardcore Nintendo fans.
Yeah, they want to know everything.
Yeah,
right? They're gonna know everything.
Yeah, so it's like make sure you've got them covered. Then it's like, all right, then there's just people who play all sorts of video games, get them, and it's like way out there you've got like the casual gamers, and it's like make sure you've really got those groups in the middle,
like really nailed down
before you start getting too far afield.
Yeah, and also it's easy to lose focus too because if you start like so big, you almost like alienate some of the people that are in like that core group, and then so you're kind of losing out on an easy win.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a distraction.
It can be very alluring, I think, to be like,
we were on Good Morning America.
Yeah, we
like
finally reached we've unlocked the mom audience or something. Yeah. It's like, oh boy.
That was always a big thing. Like, is the Today Show going to cover it? We've made it if that's the case. It's like, okay, guys.
Right.
Yeah, there was always a bit of a internal eye roll from my perspective. But hey, that's just me. I mean, I will say that it's really fun, even though it was like really stressful. It is fun to say that you've worked on things that are super random like this. This is experience that you traditionally probably wouldn't get if you worked on a more like bread and butter communications team. But like now, you and I have like a lot of random event experience, So if anyone has a question about how to make Military Island into a sandy island paradise, call me because I can help you get the permits in New York.
Pulling permits?
I can pull those permits for you. City of New York.
Oh my!
I know how you work. Weirdly. Yeah, that was that.
Good.
Wuhu Island.
So they're going to do it again for Switch Sports, right?
Get on it.
Military Island. They're going to dump the sand.
They
Helicopter.
Have how many? When is Switch Sports coming out? It's like really soon.
It's very soon. Yeah.
Like next Friday.
It's next Friday. Yeah.
Well, they better get going with that sand. Those permits aren't going to pull themselves. Nintendo, get going. Man.
All right.
Yeah,
that's the
story time for today. Yeah, let us know if you remember this event.
Maybe you were there. Yeah. In a poncho.
Let us know if you were upset by Cammie and the dog on stage at E3. Please don't be upset.
She's wonderful.
She's
don't
very
be upset
sweet. Yeah, it's not her fault.
Yeah.
All right, shall we move on?
Yes.
To our Never a Minute segment today.
All right.
Which is a very fun segment, if I do say so myself.
I'm pulling up my special
paper.
Do not look.
I put it on my phone because I didn't have time to like write it down. We are playing a fun game of guess that video game character.
Right.
So how it's going to work, we all have chosen 3 characters for the other person to guess.
Yep.
We've written 3 clues for each character.
Yeah.
The clues are in like, they start kind of vague and they get more and more detailed. Like I feel like if you don't get it by my third clue, like you just don't know this character at all, or you didn't play the game. But I try to choose ones that I feel like you definitely know.
I think mine get a little bit harder as they go. I think the third one could be a little tough for you. Oh. Just saying.
Okay. All right. Are you going to go first, or we'll take turns
one
at a time?
I will go first though.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Character 1, hint 1.
Okay.
It's hard to tell which is cooler, my hairstyle or my t-shirt collection.
Travis Touchdown.
Oh, jeez. That's too easy.
It's a good character, though.
Well, my third hint was, I was just going to read it anyway. Like most people in the world, I do some of my best work in the bathroom. That was my third one.
That one would have totally given it away.
Wow, first hint. Okay, good for you.
I like it. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Okay. Character 1, hint 1. I'm kind of a loner, flying around in my spaceship by myself all the time.
Samus.
Yes. Dang it!
That's way too easy.
Okay, that's like your Travis clue, then.
I think the loner really, because it could have been Star Fox character.
I know.
What's your hardest hint on this?
That
was the easy hint.
That was the easy hint.
That was the hard hint.
That was the hard hint.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is.
Well, I hope you've got a little bit something extra for me down the road here.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go again. Why are you staring at your phone like this?
I'm trying to be like, did I write these hints?
You doing text messages or what?
No, I was like, did I write these hints too easy?
Now I'm like,
DoorDash? I'm guessing myself.
Oh, maybe
I
you
should
should
make up some more hints. Okay, keep going.
All right.
Keep going.
My personal style is pulled directly from a London punk club circa 1979.
Cloud Strafe?
No. That's a good guess, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bugs, they don't bug me.
Oh.
I'm just going to go on to the third one because you seem stumped.
Oh, wow. This is a hard one.
The guy with the fish, he's either my rival or my best friend. I can't decide. Oh, my gosh. I'll go through these again.
What?
My personal style is pulled directly from a London punk rock club circa 1979. That's the first. 2. Bugs, they don't bug me. And then number 3, That guy with the fish, he's either my rival or my best friend. I can't decide.
An inkling?
Oh, dear. This isn't good. This is easy.
No, it isn't.
Can I give you just...
Bugs?
Bugs.
Bugs.
This character loves bugs.
Do I know this person?
You definitely do. You absolutely do.
Do I like this person?
I don't know how you feel about this character, but you have absolutely had a lot of game time interacting with this character.
Oh man! I don't know.
I'll give you a franchise. Ready?
Okay.
Animal Crossing.
Oh.
Hey. You don't know the name.
Oh my gosh, the lizard with the thing,
First
Flick.
letter. Flick. Yes. I'm gonna flick you for getting that wrong.
I'm gonna get there.
Wow.
Well, what was your third clue on this?
The guy with the fish. He's either my rival or my best friend. Do you know his name?
The otter.
Maybe you can redeem yourself.
I don't know.
First of all, he's a beaver, not an otter. His name is CJ.
CJ.
Yeah. Oh
man.
wow.
Okay, wow.
Dark moment for you.
Dark moment for me. Okay. I have no hair and some interesting body art.
Next.
I was a respected general until I killed my wife and daughter under some, quote, influence.
Oh, Kratos.
Yes.
Oh, see, I was very much in the Nintendo universe here. I was like,
until
what?
someone killed their daughter and wife?
Oh, now I need to think a bit harder. Wait, what was the first one again?
I have no hair and some interesting body art.
Okay. And what's the third one?
They call me the Ghost of Sparta. That's like a giveaway.
Well,
Giveaway!
Ooh, glad I didn't have to get to that.
Whew.
That would have been embarrassing for me.
Okay, all right, all right.
Not flick level embarrassing, but something. All right. This is the... so I think this one could be a little challenging for you.
Well, they're all kind of hard.
Well, let's just go. You can find me hanging out in Octo Valley.
Well, that is a Splatoon character,
okay.
So continue.
Well, this is where it gets tricky. If you translate my age into fish years, I'm 130.
Is that old creaky man? What's his name?
If you'd like to make a guess, you need to know the name.
The old creaky man.
Here we go, the third one. Forget that other old guy. I'm from the original Squid Game.
It's the old
What's
man.
his name?
I don't know his name.
Oh.
But I know who, I can see him.
You got a great
Captain.
name. You're close.
Captain.
What is it? What is it?
I'm reaching for the stars.
You're so close.
Captain.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. Captain something.
Take a guess.
Tinkleberry?
No. Captain Tinkleberry. Oh my God. Captain Cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish.
Oh, it's right there.
But I feel like partial
wow, you
credit.
got 1 out of 3. That's rough.
Partial credit.
I did not expect this.
Partial credit. Okay, here we go. Last
All
one.
right.
I might be only 5 centimeters tall.
Oh boy.
But don't let that fool you.
How big is a centimeter? This is America, bro. Okay.
What is this
I don't know what a centimeter is.
Get your iPhone, your ruler.
Using my measuring.
My measuring tool.
Olimar?
No.
Oh.
My father got really drunk and destroyed all the stars, the earth, the moon, and other celestial bodies in the universe.
Oh.
Whoopsie.
The prince.
It is the prince. The last clue was, I'm sitting in the shelf right behind you. Yes, the prince. Additional face. All right, good
Got
job.
like a mallet. He like whaps me when I turn around.
You didn't get it on the first try? You're still at
5 centimeters. Is that right?
That's right.
Well, that's really
It's very
small.
small.
Oh my gosh.
He's reaching for the stars.
Do you know what 5 centimeters is? I feel like it's smaller than that. It's like this.
No.
It's like this, right?
How many centimeters are in an inch?
I don't know.
How many centimeters?
Again,
how many millimeters are
This
in
is America, bro. We don't do that here.
10? 5?
I don't know. We're embarrassing ourselves right now.
Yeah.
There's
This is
somebody.
like that math.
There's somebody elsewhere in the world who is just shaking their head.
People with basic
man.
elementary school educations. Great.
All
That was fun.
Yeah.
We should do that more.
It's time for the weekly Elden Ring update,
Oh, my
aka
Lord.
What Are We Playing? So
We
again,
did play some other stuff this week.
yeah, we have more
did,
coming up, but let's
Oh my
start there.
gosh.
Now, let's see, where did we
where have we left?
So we left off kind of on a high note last week because
I'm back to being on my lowest of lows.
We beat that Legacy dungeon, the capital. And we were up to the new area, this kind of snowy mountain.
Yes,
tops.
we have moved to the next area. We went up the elevator. Our next task is to get some flame something.
I missed that mission. Or again, I don't pay close attention to a lot of the dialogue.
This was pretty obvious. She was like, "I am marking this spot on your map. Go there." It was like one of the more like less, do what you want, more like do what I say kind of moments in the game. But, so we both got through that legacy dungeon pretty okay.
Yeah.
We beat those 2 bosses. I did summon some help.
Yeah.
It's okay. You did too. It's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But, it was very pleasant. I actually really liked that area. I thought it was really fun.
Yeah.
We go up to the next area, and I'm just getting pushed around now. It's bad. It's not good at all. It's really bad. That area is really tough. I did try to explore like around a little bit, get some of the save points. I went to Castle Sol, which is the little like side castle you can do. Yeah. That boss is really, really hard. I haven't beaten him. I tried to like level up more. I did get to level 100.
That's good.
Which is good. What level are you now?
I'm like 89. So,
so you're getting there
really
too.
Past me.
I mean, I don't know if it's making a difference really. I just like feel like I'm... No matter what, it's just like so hard. That fire giant is at where I'm
that's where you're stuck.
Really stuck. Are you stuck there? Did you beat it?
No, I did not beat it.
Okay.
Well, we're getting near the end of the game, I think, or close,
so, yeah.
close-ish, maybe.
I hope so.
So they're gonna get harder.
Maybe you can help me.
So this is a lot of the bosses so far. It's been like, okay, well, I can have this AI summon, and I can stab the enemy in the back while they're tied up with them.
Yeah. This one, he's very focused on
This guy is very like, you can die really fast. He's slow. He's obviously a big giant guy. Yeah. So if you summon something, they're going to die really fast too. So it's almost like pointless to do that. Yeah. I've only done it like maybe 5 tries.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't yet learned all of his moves.
Yeah.
So I'm not feeling quite as hopeless as you.
It's just the one-shot kills that's sort of frustrating because like I am able to like get damage in, like he like you said, he's pretty slow, he's pretty big, so you can sort of like roll around his feet.
Right. Have you made it to the second phase?
I have. Okay. Yes, I have. Second phase is even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. Like there's a lot of, I mean, the first phase is a couple of one-shot kills where he like slams his shield down.
Yeah.
The second phase with the fire, like he can.
I did put on a talisman that gives me more fire resistance.
I did that too.
Maybe helps a bit.
Yeah, but it's just like if you just time it wrong, a millisecond wrong, it's like all your progress is lost.
Right.
So it's a little frustrating. I just feel like you have to basically be like perfect, like predict every single attack perfectly before it happens and counter it, or else you're gonna like he's gonna one shot you and you're just gonna die. So it's like, okay. You can summon Torrent though during the fight, so if you do need to get away, you can. I've heard people say that that's helpful in the second phase when he's like throwing those huge like fire missiles at you. But yeah, I'm stuck. I'm pretty much trapped there. I did look up fire giant cheese.
Yeah.
Even that cheese looks really hard. So
there always involves something that I can't do. Like you did the one with the poison. I have no magic at all.
Yeah.
I've never used magic once in this game. I have no like magic points.
Yeah, I know.
I just have hit points and strength.
Huge sword.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
So I can't do it.
Are we allowed to do this boss multiplayer?
Well, yeah, you can do any boss multiplayer.
Maybe that's the solution.
I did try to summon a real person companion, and there was nobody there. I don't think anyone wants to do it.
It's so hard.
It's too annoying.
No one wants to do it.
Yeah.
You help me.
Fine, I'll try it. Yeah.
All right, maybe that's.
But we did dabble around with another boss, Radon.
Radon.
We had very different experiences.
I was okay. I did beat him at the end of the night. I tried a lot more than you did.
Now, this is an optional boss.
I like that.
That I think is maybe most people encounter him more like middle of the game or
we were
early-ish.
We were a little late to Verdun.
I was not expecting to even do that boss because I'd heard how annoying it was or how hard it was. And I was like, I don't need to do this.
Yeah.
But then it was like, oh, you do get this cool sword, which is like of the category of sword that I'm using. So I'm like, I want to see that and see if maybe...
Did you end up using that sword?
No, because it requires some magic. Some intelligence, which I don't have. I don't have intelligence, you see.
Oh,
I'm dumb. So I can't use it. So I'm sticking with the one I got, but...
you have the big Game of Thrones-ish looking sword now, still.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. I'm riding with that. I'm up to level 9 Somber Smithing Stone of that.
Oh, you're just going to... That's going to carry you through the rest of the game.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah, I think I'm done with weapons, too. I'm just going to carry my 2 right now. Yeah, I don't need anything else. I'm up to, like, almost level 20 on this, so...
But so you start in this castle.
Yeah.
And for me, there is some event that you can trigger.
I did that, too.
Where there's nobody
there.
So it was like that for you too?
Yeah.
But you said you were like going over a bridge and there were things.
Yeah, so before I wouldn't even be able to make it across the bridge.
I didn't have any of that.
So, but that was like way long time ago. That was like weeks ago.
Oh, you tried to go over.
I tried to go like weeks ago.
I'd never even been over there.
And then it was like crazy.
Yeah.
And then like I was like, bye, I'm not doing this right now.
I see.
And then I did the capital stuff. Maybe that's what triggered it. I have no idea. But this time when I went over it was not a soul in sight.
Yeah.
So you just, it's like an empty castle, basically. You go in, and then there's like a festival happening, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And you basically talk to like all these NPCs that you've met kind of along the way in the world. And I had quite a few in my little festival. I think it depends on who you talk to, right?
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh,
How many did you have? I had like the pot, the big wolf guy, the samurai.
Oh, I didn't know. I had maybe like 4 or 5.
I think I had like 8.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're great. I loved all, they're very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you like talk to one of the NPCs and it's like, are you ready to do this? Let's see you in the battlefield. And you're like, what? So they come with you, basically, which is really cool.
I thought that,
it's very clever.
The summon signs are like everywhere.
Yeah.
So I was just like jamming that button as I was riding around on the horse. Like, let's get everybody here. And they did a good job of distracting him.
Yeah.
So I actually beat him on the second try.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It sounds like there were some annoying attacks that I just didn't have to deal with.
See, again, it's like a one-shot kill.
Yeah.
Like, I'll kill you in one shot.
Were you on the horse the whole time?
Yes. Pretty much.
Because I was just always like going full speed on the horse. So he must have, missed.
I would pause just to like attack him.
Yeah.
Because I was just doing range while the rest of the summons were like doing the melee stuff. But you do have to like stop and aim, and like sometimes like you're like fighting the camera a little bit, which is it's also a little frustrating. Like you kind of like whip around while you're riding, and then right in your face would be like the meteor. Like you would not have time to like adjust your camera to get. Maybe that's just me.
I must have totally lucked out and.
Yeah,
not have to
it definitely
deal with
took
that.
me more than 2 tries, but I did beat him in
Yeah.
that same night.
Yeah.
I think I
Okay.
probably tried, but no, I probably tried for like a good hour and a half.
Oh wow.
So it must have been at least like 10 tries. I don't know. Yeah, something like that. Something longer than 2. Yeah, but you got the sword. I wasn't there for the sword. I wanted to open Nokron Eternal City.
So did it tell you about this?
It did, yeah.
Okay, again, I must have just been jamming through the dialogue.
You talk to the guys that you summoned, and he's like, okay, now go like find this meteor that smushed a crater in the world.
Because you were like, oh, I'm in Nokron. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What is that?
You can get a lot of cool stuff down there. So I was there to like level up, and I wanted to get one of those summons that people keep talking about, the Mimic tier, which basically summons a copy of you in battle, which I've been using that for the Fire Giant, but it's still pretty tough.
Yeah.
So there is, and I got a new helmet while I was down there.
Oh.
That's really good.
Good.
So there's like a couple of cool items,
Yeah.
and that city is like beautiful, so it's like kind of fun. But yeah, that was just good to like level up a little bit more and just kind of do something else, because that Fire Giant was definitely not happening at that time.
Yeah, I do want to get that summon, but I don't think it's going to be super helpful. That's just like, you just got to grind it out. Get lucky.
I guess. Just don't mess up
We can try it together.
I know.
Because we had such a bad first experience against that tree sentinel where you need your horse, but you can't get it when you're doing it.
This one I think might be
This one I think we could do it, yeah.
Yeah, we'll try it and see.
We can try it, yeah.
When they do it 2 times, because you can do it one person's game and then do it in the other person's game.
Yeah. We'll do it in my game first.
Hey! I knew you were going to say that.
What?
You're so selfish. I can't believe you said that.
A man would say that.
You would. Who's mean to who now, huh? All right. Anyway, moving on. I did play a little bit of Tunic.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did, which is nice. Look good. I feel like I really do. When I'm having like lows with Elden Ring, I do need like a palate cleanser. Like you were saying like, oh, the new Lego game.
The Lego, yeah.
It's my palate cleanser now. Like,
is this game a good palate cleanser though? Because it's kind of the same. Like, what do I do?
I looked at a guide.
Oh, you started looking at guides.
I started looking at a guide.
Okay.
Because I wanted to just like you were saying, like make sure you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
So I'm in like the next area now.
Yeah.
And like going through to I think I'm on my way to the next like boss kind of character. I don't know how many bosses are in the game, but yeah. But I'm like I feel very well equipped now. I have like the shield. I have like more of those like different kinds of bombs and like little like potions. I got like the sword going. So yeah, I feel less squishy, which is nice. And yeah, it is like it's definitely still challenging, but it's not as frustrating as Elden Ring right now. So it's been like a nice change.
Okay.
So I played that for a couple hours this weekend. It's
good.
It's still really fun. I think maybe like middle of the game now. So hopefully be able to.
Maybe.
Can I beat something that's not Kirby? Please?
No, Kirby.
Please.
Yeah.
Please.
You can beat Switch Sports. You can win a game of bowling.
You want to box me in real life?
No, we're not doing or off of the boxing, okay?
People want to see the boxing.
But they don't.
Yes, they do.
They really don't.
They really do. I saw lots of comments. They do. I also played Mario Golf 64. Look at me with my breadth of gaming this weekend.
This is a new addition to the Nintendo Switch Online.
Yes.
I
have not played this game before, ever.
Yeah, I was like, I had played the one, I mean the GameCube one of Mario Golf.
That's right.
I had not really played this one either.
I didn't have the N64, so of course I didn't play this one at all. I definitely played the GameCube one. I will say that maybe the graphics do not really hold up.
Oh.
It's like a little bit, I don't know what it is, but it just looks busy to me. Like everything looks kind of like cluttered. So it's hard to like focus on like what it is you're supposed to be doing.
The HUD is it's a bit much.
It's a little bit much, yeah. And obviously you have like a smaller screen size to work with anyway because you're like not widescreen at this point in gaming or in TVs. So it's just like very cluttered. I did try this little mini golf mode that I really liked.
Yeah.
I thought I had pictured in my head like real mini golf with like windmills and stuff, which I thought like that would be so cute to add to Mario Golf, like a mini golf kind of thing. But it was a little bit more simplistic. It's like you go through these little kind of putt-putt courses, but they're all like shaped like different things. So the first set was numbers 1 through 10. So you would have to like try to get your ball like around the number 1 to the hole, and you have to like kind of figure out like how to angle it so it can like bounce off the walls and all sorts of stuff. And then it was like letters. So it was kind of clever, and it definitely moved a little faster than like your typical like rounds of golf or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Game's kind of hard too. Like
it's
kind of challenging.
Yeah, that was a bit of a turnoff as I got going.
Yeah.
I was interested in again, never really played this game before. Like the character select.
Yeah.
It's like who was it? It was like Peach and
Baby Mario,
and then like Jimmy and Jane. Like these two random like people. I was like, what? And you have to unlock everything else.
Yeah, I unlocked the Luigi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the next one on the list.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know who those two children are. Why are they playing
What's
golf?
the story with those two?
Yeah, this is random, right? It's so weird. But you know, I didn't play like the tournament mode or anything like that, which I know you don't really like that mode either. Like usually, I just did like the character unlock and the mini golf. But you know, it's fun. I think it's like I like Mario Golf in general, like all of them.
Yeah.
But I think if you like already had a subscription or something, like why not?
Yeah. See, I like the graphics.
Oh, you like it?
I like that like N64 or PS1, like very blocky.
It's not the blockiness that I mind.
It was the rest.
It was the rest,
okay.
yeah. Also, like, something was weird with, like, the colors. Like, it was too bright. Like, it was hurting my eyes.
Well, it did look very sharp, I thought.
That's what it is.
And, you know, there have been sometimes, like, I remember, like, the Wii U Virtual Console stuff. It was always very dark.
Yeah.
There sometimes are, like, weird color gradations or brightness
color corrected
gradations.
it, like, weirdly. I don't know what happened.
So you might be onto something there. It didn't stand out to me, but
yeah. Like, it was, like, too fluorescent or something. I was like, my eyes kind of hurt. Like,
right.
Yeah. I couldn't really play for a long time. But anyways, yeah, it was nice to play some other games.
Yeah, it's good they keep adding stuff to that.
Yeah.
You were saying I played that Lego Star Wars Skywalker saga. I'm still plugging away at this a little bit in between
collecting
Elden
everything?
Ring. No. There's too much to collect. Yeah, if like this is a completionist nightmare. This game.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Much stuff. There's like some little items like, oh, you picked up one of 1,264 of these.
You think
like,
Korok seeds are bad?
Oh my
Wait till you play this game.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I finished one of the movies. I just played the first, episode 4 again. That's the first one.
Oh, okay.
Don't forget.
Not 1 through 3 though.
So I played that one. It took about, it was maybe like 3 or so hours. So, you get a good little chunk of game for each of those. And again, there's 9 of those.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot.
So it's a lot to get through. I really like kind of, again, the approach of like a more serious approach to some of these Star Wars moments, and then some that are very like lighthearted
funny and stuff,
and funny. Like there's in the ending of the movie, there's a controversial scene where the human characters get a medal for blowing up the Death Star, and Chewbacca, the Wookiee, does not. But
how dare they?
Again, Chewbacca's out there risking his Wookiee life, but not worthy of a medal. And there's a gag in the ending where like the guy is like literally putting medals on everybody else and like himself except Chewbacca, and Chewbacca's like, what's going on? I tried to take a video of it. The game does not allow you to take videos. Yet another one of those.
One of those. The IP nightmares.
Somebody didn't want to pay
the licensing.
Somebody didn't want to pay the fee to Disney or Lucas or
both.
This game has so many like screens or menus up front before you get started. It's driving me crazy. It's like,
don't take a picture, don't take a video.
We got the Lego logo. We got the Warner Brothers logo. We got the Star Wars logo. We got the Disney logo. We got the Traveler's Tale logo. We got the Speed Tree logo. We got the Unreal Engine. It's like, please just let me play this game.
Wow.
And then when you load it up too, there's like the scroll with the text of like, you have to watch a little bit of that. I don't know why they just won't let you skip that, but you have to watch some of that every time.
20 minutes before you get into this game, basically. It's basically like going to your friend's Animal Crossing.
Yeah, that is a little annoying. I will say.
It's kind of a turn off. It's like, I just want to get into this.
Right.
Don't ever turn it off.
So I just keep it in suspend.
Keep it suspended.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I also, they do have, most of the game is like on foot. They do have these vehicle sequences, which I'll say are really good.
Oh.
Like there's the one where you're going around the Death Star and blowing that up. And then I did the one from the second movie where you're on Hoth, the ice planet, and you're fighting the big at walkers where you need to take them down. I was like, this is like really like well done. And those are always like very like marquee moments in a Star Wars game.
Movies and stuff.
And I was like, this is like Lego and it's very, low stakes, but it's fun and it looks cool.
It's like, this should be what Star Fox is.
So yeah, I mean, there's definitely, this game's got something going for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, you looked as bored as could be.
Moving on. So boring. Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
Why are you playing these games for like children?
So the Lego, it like
you're actually 8 years old inside.
Triggered something in my brain. This is game's Hot Wheels Unleashed. This game came out maybe like sometime last year. And I got it and I played it and I realized like, oh, there's a weird difficulty issue with this game where on normal difficulty, it's basically impossible. And on easy difficulty, it's like
too easy?
It's like brain dead easy.
Oh.
So I was like, how come the normal difficulty is not the hard difficulty and there's not an actual normal difficulty in between?
And then easy mode, yeah.
Right. So I just stopped playing that game because I was like, this is a game for kids. Why is this so hard? But again, I was like,
why are you playing this game in the first place?
This little games with little toys and stuff. I was like, okay, maybe they went and patched that or fixed that. And I looked it up and they did put some patches out to try and address that.
Uh-huh.
And so I went back and did a couple rounds of that, and it was definitely more fun than it was when it was impossible.
Okay.
So, hey, don't Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Jeez.
Moving the show along because it's getting...
You're gonna gong me?
I'm gonna take that big hook out.
Oh my gosh. Well, just wait till you're on, cozy bedtime game number 351. But why?
These games are for children.
These games are fun. Jeez.
All right. I think you secretly like these little toys.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Oh, okay. Maybe not.
Come on. You like this dumb stuff like toys. Come on.
I didn't say it was dumb.
All right, we gotta move on.
I don't need to do this anymore. We have a news jingle now.
We do. Thank you.
Thank you
for that. All right. I don't like this first story very much.
Why?
The story is Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 might be too big for the Switch, quote, experts, unquotes, say.
Oh, here we go. Digital Foundry,
So the Digital Foundry folks, I would hate to work for Digital Foundry. They're counting these pixels all day long. How many counting the frames? What are the 30? Oh, it's only 30. What are the 60? Oh, it's only 60.
That's a lot of, that's a lot.
But these fellas...
They dissected
analysis.
Well, dissected the most recent.
The trailer, and they said, I don't think this can run on the Switch. And they said specifically, I was surprised by how sharp and clear this looked compared to the original in general. Great analysis. And they were also talking about these volumetric clouds. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
We don't need to do this. Please, let's not do this.
I'm sure they'll make the game run on the system it's going to run on.
Right.
That's the end of the thing.
But also, if it was on some, new hardware, they would not tip their hand at it in a trailer like this.
Exactly.
So I don't know why we're doing this.
It's just speculation, I think. Just for fun of speculation.
That's fine. And also, but again, these guys are like, oh, I don't know if this can run on the Switch. It's like, you know what will run on a Switch? The Zelda dev team. So let's let them do what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Guess what? Maybe they've, taken things a little bit further than they did with the first game. Shocker.
Yeah, exactly. And who's going to know the most about what's going to run and not run is probably the team that already made a game for the Switch and are just making another game for the Switch.
So I kind of side at this story.
Oh boy.
Next, this is a cool one. Another Nintendo story. Nintendo acquires land for new development building in Japan.
That building is getting a little crowded. That development building. That was my takeaway.
That was my takeaway too.
They've outgrown this building.
So that new the development building, the existing one, is not that old.
No.
Up until a few years ago, they were all crammed in the main.
Their main building. I
don't know how
you fit in there. I don't know because that building
they were
crammed
back
full.
to back.
Let me just develop this T-Rex hands to develop the Zelda game. Let's do it. No way.
But yeah, it did seem like that building was also getting full.
Really full.
So it's great. They're adding more development resources.
Yeah.
And, I think it's great now that they'll have even more.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder if this is also going to mean new technologies and stuff like that for the dev team. Traditionally, I think Nintendo has been pretty old school. Mm-hmm. I wonder if a new building also means new resources for them too, which would be really nice.
A new cafeteria.
Oh.
I'd love to try it. So they only bought the land.
So that gives it
5
building.
billion yen, which is 40 million. That seems like a good deal to me.
That's a pretty good deal.
To get this land?
Yeah. And they're just going to they're going to make a second development building.
Right. And it'll be done by 2027. What year is this now? 2022?
Yeah. 5 years? It's not bad.
Yeah. Great.
That's not bad at all. But it's going to be the same as not the corporate building. So they now have the corporate building.
Yeah.
Which is where
which is the older one.
The older one.
Yeah.
And then around the corner is the development building, and they're going to have another development building. I wonder where it is.
They're all kind of in the same
little
vicinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very different than a campus like we have in the U.S.
Right. It's not necessarily connected.
Right. Yeah. So it's a little bit different.
I always wish they had some sort of an underground tunnel to easily get
some sort of trolley.
Yeah, because it was always we're going to the next building. Let's
get in a cab.
We're gonna hoof it and get your stuff. We're gonna walk.
Or sometimes we have to get a cab to go over there.
One time they told me, "Hey, this is a rough neighborhood. You got to be careful." And I'm looking around. I'm like,
there's a grandma.
This is the nicest neighborhood.
I'm do you know that there's nobody here?
You gotta again.
There's
this is America, Jack. We know some rough neighborhoods.
Yeah, it's there's a barbecue restaurant and a grandma with a radish.
There's a 7-Eleven.
We're good.
It's this is cool.
Don't walk by yourself. Let me walk you
here by yourself.
Maybe we'll walk you over there, Krysta-san. I'm like, sure, if you want to.
All right. This next story, you added this. I don't know what you have to say about this, so I'm gonna let you do this one.
This is there was like some job listing that Namco filed that someone noticed that like they're maybe working on a remaster of a 3D action Nintendo game. I added it here because a lot of people are saying it could be a new Star Fox game. Oh. And I was curious because you had worked there and you were talking about making Star Fox, like redoing it. Like you had an opinion.
You know who made that GameCube Star Fox game was Namco.
Well, there you go. Assault.
You gotta watch out for these LinkedIn postings or your resume updates or whatever. You gotta watch out for those. Okay. I
mean, it doesn't matter. So what? So people know. Like whatever. It's fine. Not everything has to be a big giant secret.
Big secret.
Big old cloak and dagger.
I'm sure this has been taken down and slapped on the wrist.
That person is fired before they got hired.
There's a lot of good. Bandai Namco did Smash Brothers.
That's right.
There's a lot of good.
Yeah, they have a good historical.
Crossovers here. Yeah.
Historical basis for something like this. So,
yeah.
So that could be something interesting to be on the lookout for.
All right. This next one's interesting. This one has layers to it.
I saw this.
So let's go through this. So The Witcher 3, CD Projekt was working on a next-gen patch for this. Yeah. It was delayed, believe it or not. They seem to have some issues with projecting when things will be done. But I think they were a little annoyed at some of the
coverage,
chatter about this. And they came out and said that the game is, quote, not in some sort of development hell, which is, I guess, a very straightforward way of putting it. But this is where it gets interesting. So they said that the update was being done by a developer, Saber Interactive, who did the Switch version.
Right.
Which, again, I played and loved. But they have an office in Russia, which CD Projekt Red cut ties with. So maybe it's not a development issue and it's more of just a shuffling of resources because of this whole Russia issue.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, honestly, who's sitting on pins and needles waiting to play Witcher 3 Next Gen? I don't know. I mean, it's good that they're doing this. It's cool that they're doing this. I wouldn't say this is as bad as like.
I don't think it's that bad. It's just like interesting how that all rolled out. Like, because it got announced and then almost immediately got delayed. So it's like maybe just be a little bit more realistic. I don't know. It seems like they're in a bad way with all this stuff. So.
They seem to be very like beholden to their shareholders, and I wonder if they have pressure.
Someone is foot tapping,
or the shareholder meetings. Yeah, I don't know. They seem to get brought up a lot. The CD Projekt shareholders, look out for them.
Oh man, that would be such a horrible place to be, where you felt like every creative decision, like everything was just like completely limited by these shareholders.
Yeah, I mean, I gave Nintendo a lot of credit when we were there. Like, obviously, a big public company. We didn't have a lot of stress about the stock price, or I mean, we would hear about the shareholder meetings, and those were obviously
I think it's
big
different
moments.
Though, because we were at Nintendo of America. Like we were sort of like protected, for better or worse, from the public traded company, which is Japan, Nintendo of Japan. Or NCL or whatever. So, so we were like kind of shielded from it, but we also didn't see any benefits from it either. So
I mean, I didn't get the sense that, people were like daily like agonizing. Again, it was just like, it'll go up, it'll go down, whatever. It was kind of like, all right, well, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Back
our
to
favorite
our toilet-bound hero. No More Heroes 3 is coming to other platforms. So it's coming this fall to PS4, PS5, Xbox, and PC.
Yeah.
Published by Exceed Games.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, that's nice. It's a great game. We both played it.
Really liked it.
Really liked it. And of course, Suda-san is like one of our favorite people ever.
Yes.
So exciting that more people are going to get a chance to check this game out. If you're not playing on Switch, you can play it on these other platforms. Which is great. Is that it?
We have a record number of questions from our Patreon friends. So we better get going.
Get into it.
All right. Question 1 from Prince Charmless. Happy 10th episode. He knew. This guy's going somewhere. He knew that this was episode 10.
He is definitely going somewhere.
How you guys feel now, looking back, when you just started? Did you expect this show to be very popular this quick?
We had no expectations, I think. I mean, of course, we knew how awesome you guys are, which is, again, the whole reason for doing this in the first place is, like, to get this community back together. Like, we knew that.
Yeah.
Especially from all the comments we got from you when Nintendo Minute ended and when, like, both you and I left Nintendo. So we had, like, a sense that this community is amazing and will, maybe will stick with us. But I definitely, like, had no expectations of, like, what the numbers would look like or anything like that.
Yeah, that was impossible to know.
Yeah.
We're on episode 10. We've been doing this about 2 months. Mm-hmm. So it still feels very much in the, like,
baby phase?
Beginning phase. And, we've come a long way, but there's still a long way to go, too.
Yeah.
It does seem like we hear from these people all the time who are still like, oh, what are you guys doing? Or I wish you were continuing with Nintendo Minute. And it's like, hey, guess what?
We kind of are.
We're doing it. We see that a lot in our TikTok comments.
Yeah, we see
the TikTok community seems to be
like
removed from the rest.
Removed, which is fine. Like we were able to connect with them there and answer questions, hopefully, that they've had or like let them know that we have a new show going.
Yeah. So if you know somebody who might be in that camp,
spread the word.
Please do us a favor and tell them.
Yes. Ben Eckhorn. I think
here we go. You are under fire for the pronunciation.
Eichhorn? Eichhorn.
I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse.
You're going to say all the names in the
I'm going to do all the names in the 1UP Club.
No.
And save you some embarrassment.
No. You cannot.
Oh boy. I apologize in advance.
I think a common feeling many have in their jobs is imposter syndrome. During your tenure at Nintendo, did you experience this? And how do you think you overcome or accept it?
Wow.
Well,
you probably experienced this more than I did, so why don't you go first?
Why would you make that assumption?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was I know what you're talking about, and like this feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, why am I here? I don't know if I experienced this at Nintendo. I certainly had like other things that were challenging for me at Nintendo, but I wouldn't say imposter syndrome was one of them. For me, it was more just like navigating the whole like Japan versus Nintendo of America, especially like towards the later part of my career, and the cultural differences between the two regions, and like the corporate politics were really hard sometimes, and just like you gotta kind of have a thick skin about it. I do think imposter syndrome is like kind of a real thing though, and I think a lot of people, especially those that are starting out in their careers, definitely you kind of don't have that experience under your belt yet, so you're lacking that confidence. I do think one good way to try to overcome it is like to get as much experience as possible. Like when I first started, I didn't know anything about PR, so I just like made it my mission to like learn everything I possibly can and take every opportunity that I saw. I like grabbed every opportunity that was given to me or that I saw. I wasn't shy to ask to like work on something or ask a question about something that I didn't know about. I think that helped me build my confidence up because it just gave me like more and more experience along the way. Yeah.
We talked about this when there were questions about getting into the industry, and like I think there can be this feeling of like, oh, these people have these skills that I don't have, or they're so much smarter than me or so much more qualified, and it's like really just look at the people around you, and it's like they're no different than you. They're,
exactly.
You're as good as they are, and just kind of remind yourself of that. And it can be an easy kind of mental trap to fall into, but I think if you just keep, resetting that thinking and being like, I belong here and I can do everything that these people can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Brooke Obscura, do you have any fun stories about the launch of Super Mario Maker? Did you get to test levels made for the return of the Nintendo World Championships? Oh my goodness.
So we did not I don't think we knew that there were some levels being made, but we didn't really get to see them or play them before. So that was a really exciting moment when they broke those out.
Yeah. Like, and those levels are so good and so, just like so well made. Yeah. We did do a Nintendo Minute video where we did try to attempt to play them and they were so difficult.
Yeah. And a lot of those were made by so Eric Smith and Morgan Ritchie in the Treehouse were kind of the duo who made a lot of those. And
Eric Smith is no longer at Nintendo though. So.
I think that became their job for when these events were coming up.
They were best friends too, and it was the sweetest thing. They basically collaborated on making these levels and working on Super Mario Maker together. It was like really cute, and you can tell that they just love doing it.
Right.
But they totally got like trapped doing it for ever.
And then there was that moment where they announced like, oh, in these levels you can download them in the game. Yeah. And I think they were like genuinely touched. I don't think they didn't know that either.
I think so too, and it kind of gives you like a glimpse of like what it maybe feels like in a very small percentage microscopic way of being like a game developer because it's like all of a sudden your creativity is like in the game and people can play it and so it's pretty cool that happened for them.
But I think we asked them like, well, how long did it take you to make these?
Oh my god.
And it was really up there.
It was really up there, and they really did put
they were tuning it.
They play tested it a lot, right? Yeah. No, they put a lot of work into it, and you can certainly
just
tell.
like your Mario Maker levels, right?
My Mario Maker levels were approved by Mr. Tezuka, so yes, I have a video of him saying that they were great.
Under duress, he said that.
No, it wasn't. It was of his own volition.
Got that little pocket knife of yours.
Excuse me. I would never give that man an onigiri and call it a day. I would never.
Oh,
He's
gosh.
the sweetest.
Okay, this is an interesting one from Concerned Rowlett, a.k.a. Xander. How many different 3DS models did the two of you own? I know people like to mix and match systems, and despite the new 3DS having detachable faceplates, many people I know had upwards of a half dozen systems. I think we had different viewpoints on this.
Yeah, I had a lot. I'm staring at this.
I was just going through our little closet.
I'm looking at the cabinet because there's a whole bunch like just stacked up in there. Oh gosh, it's got to be more than 15 at this point.
What?
Something like that. Yeah, because I basically had every single special edition for Fire Emblem and for Animal Crossing.
Oh, because you took those from me when we would unbox them.
Yeah, I definitely did.
Like, you didn't want them. No, I know.
You didn't want them.
I don't.
See, that's why I took them.
This is the differing viewpoints. I wanted as few as possible.
I wanted as many as possible.
There's a reason.
Because you don't like the system transfer.
The system transfer on the 3DS
it was the worst thing ever.
So bad. I had a really
that little Pikmin with their little pixels.
I had a dicey moment with that where it was okay. I'm on a flight to Japan on Saturday. On Friday, this is like right when the new 3DS XL came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, perfect. And I got this Majora's Mask 3D. I'm going to play this on the new system on this flight to Japan. It's going to be awesome. And like that night, I start the system transfer.
And it did all night. It was ticking away.
And it's like, all right, it's going. It's like, well, these Pikmin are taking their time. So like, all right, I'm going to go to bed. I'm just going to keep this going.
Plug it in.
And plugged it in. And I wake up in the morning and it's like, all right, I'm getting ready to go catch this flight. This is going to be ready. Great, pack it up and go. They're still going. And there's like a long way to go. I'm like, oh no. And it's like, I can't just stop this in the middle.
No.
Like, that's how you mess your stuff up.
You can break both systems.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh boy. I go do some other stuff and I come back and you know how there's like progress bars can randomly, it's like, so they finished, but it was down to the wire. It took me
those Pikmin
a whole night.
They are so lazy.
And thank goodness the Switch process is so much easier where you can just like, it only moves like the necessary stuff and the rest, on your SD card and you can download the rest. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So I was like, keep these other systems away from me. I don't want them.
Yeah, no, I had all of them. I loved the Fire Emblem one. My favorite one was that one that was like the white, glossy.
Yeah. I mean, they look great.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I had the Animal Crossing systems. And then Chili Chewed one, so we had to get another one.
Yeah. They did get into some really cool ones very late. Remember there was the slime one? Oh, that one maybe never came out outside of Japan. Or there was the one that had the Zelda shield.
The shield.
That was like raised, you could feel it.
Yeah.
Those were really neat.
And Reggie's favorite, the Galaxy.
That one was cool too, I'll say. I like that.
I remember doing an event for that system. Actually, it was pretty cool.
What's the event?
We did like
you look at it and you leave.
No,
like, yeah, cool. Bye.
We did like a studio shoot in LA at this
all right.
at this place where like it was beautiful.
So we filled Times Square with sand for the galaxy. We flew to the moon.
We flew to the moon. We did go 0G for Mario Galaxy. Another story. Okay. Daniel, aka Zovnik, aka Mr. Cole.
Which, if you saw, he did explain the meaning of all of his names. So thank you, Daniel, for doing that.
Yes, it was very fascinating. What Nintendo character do you dislike the most? For me, it's always been Kirby. Please don't hate me. Well, we know. Oh, Nintendo character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have an answer?
I think it's Waluigi.
Oh no! Really?
Yes, I don't like him.
I mean, that's like a meme answer. So, but you really don't like him.
I really don't.
Why?
I really don't like him.
Explain it.
I don't like him. He's all weird and tall.
So we did Kiss, Marry, Kill.
I killed him.
Oh, okay. You didn't even... He's tall.
He's all like creepy and stuff.
What do you mean creepy?
There's something creepy about him.
It's just who he is.
Exactly. He's a creep.
All right.
He's just... It feels like he'd be like lurking somewhere.
Yeah.
He's a little bit like... I don't know. I feel like he'd like lurk at the corner of the club and then try to like hit on you.
Oh no!
Like that kind
of. But he'd have a rose,
which is creepy.
In his teeth.
Which is extremely creepy. I don't want that. Don't come near me.
So what you're saying is that
he's a predator.
As children come of age, they should not look to Waluigi as
their
role model for
romantic
romance.
Role model.
Is that what you're saying?
I personally, different strokes, people. But personally, that is my personal opinion.
But who would be a good role model for romance?
I don't know. I'll tell you later.
All right.
I can't think of it right
Nobody?
now. I can't think of it right now.
Toad?
Kratos.
Nintendo character.
Oh, that was not the question. Okay.
I'm gonna lump together a group of characters, the kind of extended Kong family.
You don't like Cranky Kong?
No.
Oh.
No, not so.
Not the immediate.
The
Kong
playable
family.
Ones are fine, and I'll give a pass to Funky Kong.
You love Funky Kong.
All the ones after that need to go. Like Candy Kong or like
Candy Kong.
Kitty Kong was in. I don't like that one from 3. Wrinkly. It's getting very much in the Sonic and his friends ilk.
But what about the Mushroom Kingdom characters? It's the same idea.
What do you mean?
It's like the same idea, but there's extended Mushroom Kingdom characters.
Like who? What are you talking about?
Like the 5 million toads.
So what?
And the Koopalings.
They're all the same. The Koopalings are wonderful. How dare you even
That's like the
mention
same
them
thing.
there? No, these ones are really annoying.
I don't know.
And I think they were made at a time where there were a bit more leniency with some of these creative decisions that were bad. And Candy Kong, come on, please.
Why don't you like Candy Kong?
I don't like Candy Kong.
Is it the ponytail?
I don't like her.
Okay. Is it because she's
But all of these other ones.
girl and a Kong at the same time?
All of these other ones, please go away.
Is Candy Kong not your model for romance?
No, she's not.
Okay.
So Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Cranky Kong, Dixie Kong, and Funky Kong. We keep those. And we throw out all the others.
Oh my.
We start fresh.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Eric with a K. Hi, Kit and Krysta. So the Wii U turns 10 this year. That's cool.
Wow.
I'm sure you'll do a whole series of Wii U memories, but I have a question about the console's competition back in 2012. What if the iPad had come out in, say, 2014, well after the Wii U's launch in 2012? Without competition from the iPad, do you think the Wii U's 2-screen experience tablet for the living room concept would have done better than it did? How say you?
It's very interesting. That is sort of there was like a layer of fear about the iPad for sure at Nintendo during the time of Wii U, and obviously was heightened when Wii U did not do very well, where it was like a lot of conversation about like people have limited time for entertainment. It's being now stolen by the iPad, right? That was like sort of the line.
And that was just like the prevailing wisdom with a lot of people. It was like, okay, well, mobile games are going to take over.
Yeah.
It's over for these consoles.
Yeah. We're doomed.
Not just the Wii U. It's like PlayStation, Xbox, see ya.
And we're like, that's very like
it's
dramatic,
like,
but okay.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
I don't think this makes a big difference in this alternate reality. Because again, I think the fundamental issue was just
confusion.
The confusion around, is this different from a Wii? Why do I need it? So maybe a small amount, like 10%, but it doesn't it's not like a whole switcheroo where like, oh, the Wii U was awesome.
Right. I think that's true. I do think, actually, on the flip side, maybe the idea of having a personal tablet helped Wii U in a little bit, because you do sort of have like a concept of using something that has a touch screen that you can hold in your hand. Yeah. So if you, out of the very few people that bought a Wii U, had the gamepad, like it sort of like reminded you maybe of like an iPad or something like that. So it's like,
do you remember like shortly after the Wii U came out, I forget what it was, you and I did a work video call on the Wii U with like the video chat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, let's try this out. I need to talk to you about a work thing. I'm gonna call you. We're gonna do a video call. And it was so lame.
It was so bad.
We were like, yeah, this is the last one of
these.
these.
This is the worst thing ever. Yes, I do remember that. But yeah, I don't think it would have made much of a difference either. Yeah. I think the Wii U was just really confusing and people didn't see the value of it. So that is what happened.
Ooh, this next name is a challenge.
I'm going to let you try to pronounce it.
I'm going to take the German pronunciation for this, and I'm going to say Iweinma 002.
Iweinma.
It's either Iweinma or Iweinma. Anyhow.
Okay.
We apologize. What do you think the next big game developed by Nintendo EAD will be, excluding Breath of the Wild sequel? Or what game would you like to see Nintendo EAD
What I think
create?
It's going to be is going to be a Mario game, because that's what they do.
Okay. I mean, EAD is a lot of... I mean, there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah, but it's about time.
So what you say, we know nothing.
We know nothing.
We have no no inside information on this.
No, I have no idea. Yeah, I have not a clue. But I just think back to the Galaxy... Odyssey Breath of the Wild year. And I have a feeling that it's going to be another one of those... It would have been another one of those kind of years if Breath of the Wild 2 didn't get delayed. But I think there's a Mario game coming.
Now, last year, I think, there was a rumor that the Galaxy/Odyssey team was working on a Donkey Kong game. We're going back to Donkey Kong.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that.
Now, they did like the Donkey... I'm shaking my paper at you. They did the Donkey Konga stuff. They did what was the other one with the Congos? So
do you think the reason why that they got tasked potentially to do Donkey Kong is because Retro is doing Metroid and they're busy?
Oh, no. I mean, I think that would be a different kind of game. You know, I'm pretty into this idea. I think that would be cool.
You want them to make a Donkey Kong
I would
game.
like that.
Okay.
And I would like it to be like a Odyssey-style 3D platformer. In the Kong world, minus Candy Kong and the other lame Kongs.
So 5 Kongs in an open Kong world.
I think that could be really cool. And you know, they've been doing Mario for so long. It could be just a good like refresh of like, you know, creative refresh of like, let's just try something a little bit different.
That would be super
They
cool.
seem to have some affinity for Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, there's going to be Donkey Kong's going to be in the movie. It could be a big moment for Donkey Kong.
I don't think that they cannot make a Mario game this year because of the movie.
Yeah, that's true.
That's going to be a big companion game for that movie, maybe.
Mario the movie, the game?
Mario the movie, the game starring...
But see, if there was ever a company to not do that,
zag.
It would be Nintendo. And just
That's
be like,
true.
yeah, the movie will be its own thing. We're not going to
we're not going to cross the streams here. Yeah. Okay.
Starring Chris Pratt.
I would love to see a EAD Donkey Kong game. I think that would be amazing. They are so talented there.
All right. So one of us is thinking outside the box and one of us is just trapped.
I'm not trapped.
You're trapped.
I'm not the one making this game.
Candy Kong Adventures coming soon.
Speculating. I'm just speculating.
Candy Kong's kissing booth. Here we go.
No. Starring Waluigi.
No. Yeah. She is being initiated into the Sonic family as we speak. All right.
Bobby Asian XD.
Please, go ahead.
I will say that name. Which company do you guys think Sony is teasing about acquiring? Also, which companies do you think Sony and Microsoft are going to acquire next? Also, what are your thoughts on this whole meta to catch developer studios as fast as possible, like they're legendary Pokemons or something? Lol.
So there was that thing that Kojima, again, we put out an episode about Kojima, and then Kojima's in the news like later that day.
Yeah.
He had that tweet where he had, the PlayStation Studios picture.
And then he was like, don't worry, Kojima Studios is still independent.
Yeah, like, why did you do this? That was strange. But I do think PlayStation could acquire his studio. If he's, again, he had such a bad experience with Konami, he might just want to be like, I really am independent.
Right.
But if he did want to sell, I could see that would easily be
one thing that they
a partner for them.
Yeah, that would make sense too. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's why these are such big news. It's like so surprising. Like, oh, I really didn't think that could happen.
Yeah, it's almost like who has the bigger pot of money at this point.
We know the answer to that.
Yeah. Well, do we though? Because they keep laying off people. So it's
no, Microsoft.
Oh, Microsoft. That's right.
Not Sony.
Well, they have no money. They pretend like they have money, but they don't.
They spent it all.
They spent the money. Where's the savings account, dude?
Gone. Gotta sell some more Walkmans here.
Oh, the other studio that they could acquire is the one that makes Half-Life Alyx.
What? Valve?
Valve.
I think Valve actually has.
Do they have more money?
Valve might have. I don't know. I have not looked at some financial statements recently, but I think Valve has a lot of money.
They probably do, but wouldn't they?
They got those Steam bucks.
But they could get acquired. That would be a big get.
I think they like. They like being themselves by themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of are like on their own. But I mean, they may be getting an offer. Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing of like, I think this is maybe. I find it unnecessary because again, it's like
acquiring studios.
The effort to acquire a studio and like integrate that into your own company. Versus, again, I like the Nintendo model of we are going to handpick these places. We're going to have these long-term partnerships. Mm-hmm. We're going to make it worth their while. Mm-hmm. But we're not going to, overextend ourselves by buying them. I think that is smarter in most cases.
Well, buying it means you have all the control, though, which is surprising that Nintendo doesn't want that because they love having all the control.
Well, the studios they're working with are smaller. So I think that's part of the deal.
Yeah. And I think what Nintendo does that's really smart and very like Nintendo is they groom the studios to do their bidding. And then when they do kind of buy them, like next level.
Yeah, they know they've proven.
They have proven the effectiveness, and Nintendo has that trust in them, which is how they operate. Mm-hmm. Versus like you acquire like a flashy name and you don't know what you're getting, kind of thing. Which is what a lot of these other companies
There's just so many, like BioWare with EA has been such a bummer. There's just so many examples of this not really working out.
Yeah, it's just like a name thing. Like you got a name drop, like the big things, the big studios. I mean, it's definitely
flashy. Again, if the shareholders are getting antsy, you might need to do something to get to bust open the sake barrel. That's something you can do. But
yeah, exactly. All right, next question.
John Raspante.
I make you pronounce.
Hey, Kit and Krysta, I'm currently majoring in communications, with one of my concentrations being in journalism and public relations. After working in the PR field, what's something you know now that you wish you knew when you started? I'd love to hear any advice you guys have.
What is your great career advice for John?
Well, again, we talked about this both of like really understand what PR is, especially today. I think there's a lot of like misconceptions about what it is.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's like TV shows, it's like, oh, we're the PR whatever working in this industry. And it's like, that's not really what it is. Yeah. But definitely understand like what the ultimate goal is and how you get there. But also today, like, again, like in the team that we worked in, there's media relations, content creator relations, how you might interface with social media, kind of what's the like bigger world around just PR that is going to impact what you do too.
Mm-hmm. And also what you like, because all these areas are really different.
Yeah.
They might be related to just communications overall, but there's a lot of different kinds of communications. And we didn't even touch on some of the ones that we were like not working on as closely.
Investor relations?
Yeah, exactly.
Internal communications.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Corporate communications.
Yes.
There's like teams that, for example, like just do executive communications. Mm-hmm. So like writing speeches and Q&As for like the Dougs and Reggies of the world kind of thing. So I think it's worth it to look into all these different areas of communications and PR and find out which one you like to do. So you can like kind of hone in on those areas more because they're quite different.
Yeah. And then there was also that thing we talked about of, an agency being a good place to start.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not your long-term career, depending on your preferences, but a good place to just get a ton of experience right away with a lot of different companies, a lot of different people.
That's the thing, too. Like, I think being able to work with lots of different kinds of brands and understand how to work with them is really is a good experience to get under your belt.
Link, the one and only Link, wants to know, were there any bloopers or mishaps? Those are two different things. Blooper is not a mishap. During the filming of a Nintendo Minute episode that you had to edit out or even refilm entirely. Yes. Well, there's one that comes to mind.
You're still like a little mad.
We had our friends at Capcom over to do Street Fighter, right?
Quite a lot of people from Capcom too. Like a big.
It was we were doing like a tournament for I forget which Street Fighter game it was, but it was one of the Switch Street Fighter games.
Yeah.
And, we shot the video, turned out great. And then after the fact, we found out that the footage had not been captured.
Right. We had to get that whole group back to reshoot the video.
Yeah.
We basically redid the entire thing.
Right.
That was pretty tough because it would have been easier if it was just you and I playing a game. But getting all of our friends from they were such good sports. I felt so bad.
It's a bummer too. It's like, it's Capcom. You want to put on a good show for them.
Yeah, this is like making sure they understood this is like a professional operation.
Right.
Which clearly we had not done.
So that was a bummer for sure.
Yeah.
I will say aside from that, we had a pretty good track record of, using everything that we shot and not having too many problems. And if we did, we just work around it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we never scripted anything, so it was like there was definitely stuff that we worked around. Like if the game didn't load and there was a big silence, we would just edit out those parts. Right. Usually it was fine, but that one was pretty bad. Yeah. Multi was wondering how often do you two hook up older systems to play past game libraries? I have a bucket list of games that I've been meaning to get to or replay if I haven't played them in about a decade's time to freshen my mind on it. Replayed DKC Returns and New Super Mario Brothers in the past year and was pleasantly surprised of how well those two games held up. Yeah, well, I have an N64 now, which is very exciting. I do have some legacy systems that sometimes I'll hook up when people come over for fun.
It's harder though to hook them up to modern TVs now.
That's true. Yeah.
That's kind of my. Again, I have all this stuff, but just like the effort of hooking it all up.
You have to have like the special cables and stuff.
Yeah, it's like I was like maybe what I'll do one day is get like a CRT TV and just have that be like
the dedicated
place for
retro game
for all of those, and not worry about that.
Yeah. Now, like a lot of the games you can get like on a virtual console. Some of them.
Well, see, that's where these platforms become so important. Is like either if you have it, it could be hard or inconvenient to play, or maybe it doesn't work. Like. I don't know. It's important to carry these things forward. So
those little minis are kind of good too, though. The NES minis and the Switch mini, or not Switch mini.
They're good. Yeah.
The SNES minis. I do keep those around again for like parties and stuff when people come over.
Right.
It's kind of fun to have that. So that makes it a little bit easier for you to hook something up.
Yeah. All right, this is the official Don't Get Canceled question of the day from Riven. What are your thoughts and opinions on cryptocurrency and NFTs?
Oh my gosh.
Please say you hate them and recognize them as a scam.
Yeah, I have no idea how they work at all.
As I said on the Nintendo Dads podcast, I love NFTs. Nintendo Fun Things.
Oh, I thought it was in Fun Times.
Nintendo Fun Times / Nintendo Fun Things. I love those. What's not to love? I don't get it.
I don't actually know what an NFT is,
So there's a lot of people who are very excited by this technology, which I'll admit, I do not understand really the technology. I think this group of people needs to do a better job of explaining
the value of
what is the value, why is this cool, why should people care? Because I think a lot of people who are very much into like the Web3 stuff, which is what they call it now, which is again, why is it called that? I don't know.
I didn't even know that. See,
they're jumping ahead. They're like, oh, if you don't get this, you're really going to be left behind in the dust, you fools. And it's like,
why though?
If this is going to get big, you need mass people to understand it and use it. So don't jump to the conclusion of we're all dumb because we don't know. Like, please tell us. What are we missing out on?
Yeah, tell us so we can learn about this.
Yeah. So it's like, I think that the implementations now are not good. It's like, the Bored Ape, whatever, JPEG Club. It's like, well, that's silly.
Yeah, and then also people are getting like burned by this, which I think is very unfair, like artists and stuff. Like that doesn't seem right to exploit them or like to have an easy way to exploit them.
Yeah, there's the very like speculative nature of the NFTs too that seems gross. And it's like, were NFT collectors big art collectors before this happened? Right. No, because now it's a way to make some money. So now they care.
Yeah,
but the art is mostly lame.
Like or whatever. Yeah, it's like it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. And then in gaming, like I think Phil Spencer was really right on where he was like, there's not really any ideas of these things in gaming that seem to be introducing something new or introducing value, which seems totally right. So it's like, again, I'm open to having my mind changed on this. I would like somebody to very simply explain it. And I don't think the best use case has been shown yet, which is weird. I mean, you'd think like, oh, we got this supposedly cool technology. There should be some cool idea to go with it. We're not there yet.
Yeah, exactly. Until someone can clearly explain to me what the value is, I'm going to remain skeptical.
The one that I think is easy to understand is the NBA Top Shot, which is basically
it's like a virtual baseball card.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like, okay, well, people collect physical baseball cards in real life, and now it's like, all right, well, now I have a digital card that's basically the same thing that like you can trade and like quote actually own. Like, okay, I can understand that. I don't know if I want to do it.
Yeah.
But I can kind of get it.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did we get canceled for that response?
I don't think so.
No. Huh.
I don't think so.
Nintendo fun things /times.
Nintendo fun times.
That's how NFTs can put a smile on your face.
That's right. Surat Nod Narb. Wait a second.
Just say Nod.
You change your name,
just say
sir.
Nod. Just say Nod Narb. Oh, I just figured something out.
What?
If you go backwards, it's Brandon Torres. Oh, I cracked it.
We did it.
Yes.
Okay, Brandon. Now we know your true identity. What is an IP that has not gotten a new game in a very long time that you were hoping gets revived one day?
We get this question fairly often, but I think it's good to keep going back to because there's so many things. I have a deep cut.
Oh, here we go.
Where people may not even know about this game originally.
Yes, tell me.
This was a game that came out quite early in the Switch life cycle. It was amazing, I thought. It's from a very small indie developer and publisher. Haven't heard a peep from after.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
What?
Mr. the Shadow,
yes!
The guy, the thing, the
Mr.
thing.
Shifty.
Mr. Shifty!
Please,
everybody. The guy, the thing, the guy.
Play.
From Tiny Build.
Yes.
I love them.
Everybody, please play Mr. Shifty. It is incredible.
It's such a good game. Yes.
It's basically, Nightcrawler from the X-Men. It's basically a Nightcrawler game.
Yeah.
Where you're this guy who can teleport, and it's like you in a room full of guys.
Like crazy enemies.
With increasingly escalating crazy odds against you, and you just take them all out.
Right. But there's like it's like the bullet time, like Matrix thing where you can like jump around.
Yeah, you can jump around super fast. You're like throwing guys out windows. You're getting weapons. You're knocking guys out.
You're picking stuff up off the ground, and there's like gas, and it's really
that game is super good. And every day, I'm like, please, Mr. Shifty too.
Shifty.
Let's go.
Yeah, every time they like Tiny Bill has like a tweet, you're like, is it Mr. Shifty?
Come on.
Is PAX happening? If that's the case, maybe they have an announcement to make.
I want this game.
You want Mr. Shifty? Oh gosh, I can't think of a single game.
Nothing? Well, you can.
Fantasy Life.
Oh.
Fantasy Life is my answer.
Somebody was saying, Mr. Kameoka, who we're doing the question, he apparently worked on Fantasy Life.
I know,
too.
I saw that.
I didn't know that.
Mr. Kameoka, will you make another Fantasy Life that
there
I can play, please?
There you go.
Fantasy Life. That's my answer.
All right. Well, you've been stalling because you do not want to get to this next part.
I can do it. I have confidence in myself.
People were upset.
I don't think they were really upset.
I think they were. I think they've about had enough of the mispronunciations.
Oh, no.
Have you practiced these? No. How many times did you practice this week?
I think we should do it opposite where you start this time.
Fine.
And but yes, we are going to read the beautiful One Up Club members. Make sure you check out Patreon to see if there is a level that's right for you to join.
Yeah.
We are getting ready to lock down the date for our One Up Club virtual event this week.
That's right.
So it's going to be very fun.
We have over 100 One Up Club members.
Woo!
It's incredible. The ranks
amazing.
are growing quickly.
Yes.
Again, you need to stop stalling. So
Okay, here we go. You're going to go first.
A. Ron Burgundy.
Aaron Hash.
Ace Tick.
Adam Edwards.
Ajan Malari.
Ali Shaw.
Angela Bycroft.
Ben E.
Bettina Tang.
Blue Toad.
Brian Humphreys.
Chancellor Farley.
Christopher Lay.
Captain Alex.
The Dads After Dark Show.
Daniel Cold.
Dachshund.
Derek.
David Zeck.
Dispel.
Douglas Chomix.
Drew Grant.
All caps, Dino Punch!
Ed Sandwich.
Eigenverse.
Eric.
Espars 50.
Fur.
Gar.
Garrett Hallfish.
Handsome Warrior.
Ian Shea.
Israel/Izzy.
Jackie Z.
Jack 1999.
James Quabarl.
Come on. Jason E.
JVJ.
Jeff Yoakum.
Jeremy Amasher.
Oh boy. Jim Wakeland.
Jobert.
John Responte.
Jonathan Rowe.
Jordan Collette.
Jordan Hammerly.
Jordan Thomas.
Jordy Kirk.
Juan.
Just Camtro.
Carter with a K.
Kawa 2796.
Kevin.
Kevin Delane.
Kyle Kretzer.
Kyler Nelson.
Linked Triforce.
Link Master.
Luminous.
Louis Pico.
Luis.
Lucas Pico.
Luis.
Luis Calcano.
Michael Cravens.
Michael J. File.
Michael Mazer.
Mike Chin.
Mikey.
Nick Waterman.
Nodnarb.
Oscar Peterson.
Parker Anderson.
Patreon user.
Paul Gale Network.
Pirates TCG Grudges Forever.
Pirates TCG Ramming Speed.
Prince Charmless.
Reaver.
Rain Tech.
Raphael.
Rob Osborne.
Rocks.
Uh-oh. Roy Eshke.
Ryan Stokes.
Ryanetta.
Sam Neeland.
Shinryu.
Slowbro.
Sparkling Salt.
Spicy Munchkin.
Starholt Productions.
Steel Citra.
Stephen H.
The Don Rob.
Thomas.
Thomas Alvarez.
Tony Khalil Rogers.
Tugs Puppy Bear.
Tyler. Oh no!
Yeah, this is the one!
Tyler Geis.
Oh, good. VGM Life.
Video Game Stupid.
Beautiful Dandy.
Virtual Bot.
What's up, Flapjack?
Zuzurf.
Yeah, I don't know.
Zudivorf. Zudiverf.
Zudiverf?
Zudiverf.
That's an interesting one.
I like it.
Oh boy.
I think that helped.
What? What helped?
You had the easy names all along. That was your trick.
But you still messed up like a half dozen.
You were setting me up.
You still messed up.
This was a setup. You did it on purpose. This is a setup.
I'll see you in the Discord where I'll be first in line with the complaints.
I think I did pretty well that time. Oh, no. Which one did I mess up?
A lot. We don't have time to recount them.
I don't think I did. That's it. We're done. I'm done with you. Actually, I'm not done with you because I have to play Minecraft with you in 0 minus TD.
Cleansing breaths is what I'm going to do while you do this, Blade.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's nice.
Not you.
Oh, I thought we were coming out of this on a high note.
No, I was thinking the audience.
You started this grumpy and you're going out grumpy too, I guess.
You need to sit here quietly for the next 15 seconds while I say these things. Please, blink slowly. Thank you to all of you for watching and listening. Make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/KitandKrysta, which is where you're watching this wonderful show and where you can watch our different show, The Kit and Krysta Show. The gameplay and the driving and the unboxings and the things. Yeah, do that. What else? If you have not subscribed to Patreon, it's patreon.com/KitandKrysta. We have 3 different Patreon levels now, so hopefully you'll find one that's right for you. And thank you so much for everyone that's already in our beautiful Patreon family. We love you guys so much. Thank you so much for supporting us. Don't forget to follow us on our other social channels. I'll just leave the thing here. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We're on it. It's cool. You're still nodding. We're going to go now. This is the end of the show.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.